late, missing a deadline, going over budget, all reasons employees can find themselves on the receiving end of a pink slip.
Now there is a new addition to the list you may find hard to believe: smoking.
Despite the possibility of yellow teeth, bad-smelling breath, or serious risk of a variety of cancers, people still light up. 45 million Americans are hooked on cigarettes. They just can't or don't want to quit. But what if your job was on the line? Many companies are now considering using tough tactics to take down their employees' tobacco use. It all seemed to start with Waco, a health benefits business in Michigan. In 2004, the owner, Howard Wayers, laid down the law with his employees: quit smoking or you'll be fired.
Employers today focus on certain things. They focus on quality, customer service. Health is really not on the radar screen, and it's on our radar screen. Yeah, we're going to get healthier.
Eventually, Howard extended his smoking ban to the employees' spouses and monitored compliance through mandatory random blood testing. But they're not the only ones punishing puffers. Safeway Incorporated already requires non-union employees who do not participate in smoking cessation programs to pay more for their health insurance premiums. So, should employers be allowed to punish their employees for smoking?
I think it's ridiculous. We're in America. We're free. Smoking is legal. People get off doing illegal things. Why should we be faulted for smoking?
I think the employer has a valid argument for getting rid of an employee that smokes. And I'll choose a non-smoker over a smoker because they'll last longer. You're a detriment to your health by smoking.
If they want to smoke cigarettes, let them smoke cigarettes. Their health. If they want to get sick, they can get sick.
Howard Wayers joins us from Lansing, Michigan.
And here in studio we have John Bonzaf, the Executive Director of Action on Smoking and Health, an anti-smoking organization. And on the other side of the debate, spokesperson for Citizens Freedom Alliance, Gary Nolan, is here. But let's start with Mr. Wayers. So if you had a really great employee, productive, awesome, showed up on time, did great things, and you found out they were smoking, you would have fired that person?
That's right. That was our policy that we established in we really established the policy in 2003 and gave the employees 15 months to make a decision, what was going to be most important to them, the use of tobacco, their jobs. And during that 15-month period, we gave them every support to help them eliminate the use of tobacco.
John, it's his business. He has every right to do this, I would think. Is that legal?
Indeed, the key case here heard testimony under oath that every smoking employee cost the employer up to $12,000 a year.
That's so health insurance?
Health insurance, time lost from work, absenteeism, and so on. So the general rule in the United States is the employer sets the conditions. We don't want bureaucrats second-guessing it. If I don't hire somebody who's a smoker, I don't promote somebody who's a smoker, or indeed somebody who does something else.
But Gary, smoking is legal.
Right. Well, count on John to come up with a crummy study that doesn't, I mean, it's not even a study. We're talking about testimony. We're not talking about a study. It's never been peer-reviewed. We don't know the details of this $12,000. But when you paint with a broad brush all employees, you say we're going to get rid of them because they smoke, you lose some very productive people. Winston Churchill smoked. Barack Obama smokes. There are
not
tons.
Anymore.
But he smoked. Would we have thrown him out of the Senate?
No.
No. John's legislation, the things that he gets passed, the suits that he files, hurt the little guy for the most part. The little guy that wants to go to a tavern, have a cigarette and a beer after a hard day's work. He's not going after the Barack Obamas.
But it's Howard's business.
He has a right. He has a right. Let me finish the sentence and you can go.
You're carrying on too long. This is not legislation. Each employer is making his own decision.
I'm not
employer
arguing
says,
that.
I want to keep a smoker, fine. If he says,
What are you arguing,
I'm not arguing
that.
fine.
I'm saying it's a foolish business decision to cast out good employees with bad ones. It's not illegal, and I wouldn't, as a card-carrying member of the Libertarian Party, I would never propose legislation to interrupt that deal between employee and employer.
You know what worries
Then
me?
why
It's
are
the
so
whole
many
slippery
employers
slope
doing
argument.
it?
If it's
So
smoking
many
now, why
employers are
alcohol
doing it.
later?
Yeah, just last week, Sarasota in New York, after studying it for 6 years, finding out that the absentee rate for the smokers was 35% higher and that millions of dollars of taxpayer dollar were wasted, they have gone
That's not what I asked, though. Wait, I'm going to ask you this question again when we come back from the break. And that's our show. Let us talk. Okay, thank you. Hold on 1 second. We're going to let you talk when we get back. Meet former Wyco employee. A Wyco employee, did she quit the habit or did she quit her job? We're going to tell you.
Are non-smokers more productive?
Still to come, the final week of our Dating Boot Camp series. After 6 weeks of intense training, are Ava and Cindy ready to meet their dream dates?
Triple Blade Big Soleil. Now with replacement blades and an extra wide soothing moisture strip with aloe and shea butter. For smooth, beautiful skin, Big Soleil with replacement blades. Feel the soleil.
When the spotlight's on, I've got to be on. I want teeth that are white and healthy. So I stepped up to new Colgate Total Advanced Whitening.
We've added advanced whitening technology to our 12-hour germ-fighting formula.
Upgrade to new Colgate Total Advanced Whitening.
The Morning Show with Mike and Juliet is brought to you in part by...
We stopped off at every outlet mall that we could. And everything that I wanted was on sale. And I bought all of it.
Could have had a V8, 100% vegetable juice.
Got painful UTI symptoms like burning and urgency? Get fast relief with Azo, specifically formulated to relieve most UTI symptoms, unlike general pain relievers. Azo Standard Maximum Strength.
Goodbye bag clips. Hello snack and seal packages. The newest way to keep these Chips Ahoy cookies tasting fresh.
Don't miss an all-new Fox Thursday. First, can this elementary school teacher win the big one for teachers everywhere?
We got something to prove today.
Are you smarter than a 5th grader? Then the top 9 couples await their fate.
That depends on your vote.
Plus, Flow Rider performs live, so you think you can dance results show.
Tonight at 8 on Fox 23.
The future is here, right here in this box. Because this box has the power to convert your antenna TV into DTV, digital television. And now this big discount coupon makes the DTV converter box affordable. Make sure your TV is DTV before February 2009, or all you'll see is... Learn more about the converter box and coupon. Call 888-DTV-2009 or go to dtv2009.gov.
The free Teach Me Foreclosure events coming to this area will introduce you to a proven system to make significant profits from free foreclosures, the absolute hottest moneymakers in today's real estate market, and how to do it without a license, even with a part-time effort. The foreclosure rate is climbing all over the country. Learn how to use our system to help people sidestep the hardship of foreclosure while creating added income for yourself.
A lot of information, and I feel I'm ready to go forward.
Made 2 deals. I will be making over $56,000 on these 2 deals in less than 6 months.
Admission to these powerful 90-minute events is free, so register for you and a guest right now to ensure your seats. Be among the first to register, and we'll reserve 2 Quick Start Training CDs, priced at $129 free at the event.
Well, I'm averaging about $10,000 to $12,000 a deal, so that's a pretty good start for an amateur.
I made $32,000 in my first 4 months.
Call or register online right now.
Sutherland Auctions has been Maine's best auction house since 1962, buying and selling quality items from estates, businesses, consignments, yes, lots large and small.
Should an employer have the right to fire workers for smoking? We are back talking about the tough new tactics companies are taking to stamp out smoking.
Our first guest says she quit after her company instituted a no-smoking policy and tested workers for nicotine. Welcome, Heidi Ingalls.
Still with us from Michigan, Heidi's former boss and founder of Wyco, Howard Wires.
And also with us, the Executive Director of Action on Smoking and Health, John Banzhaf, and the spokesperson for the Citizens Freedom Alliance, Gary Nolan's with us as well. Heidi, so you worked for Wyco?
Yes.
And how long were you there? 8 years?
Almost 8 years.
Good employee?
Yes.
So what happened? You quit?
I quit.
Why?
I didn't like the policy.
You were a smoker?
I was, and when it came down to it, it wasn't even the issue of the smoking. I didn't like that my employer could come into my home and tell me what I could and could not do.
Back then, they were testing your spouse as well.
They weren't when I left. They hadn't started. I left a month before the actual policy went into effect.
Oh, you didn't want any part of this. You didn't even get tested one time.
I did get tested one time.
Did you flunk?
No.
John, there are companies out there. There are companies out there that are testing the spouses of their employees. Even if the employee doesn't smoke, but the spouse does, that's a problem for them because of secondhand smoke. That's fair?
Well, let's point out, first of all, that most of the employees in places like this do, in fact, quit smoking. Roughly 80% of all smokers do want to quit. This helps them. If the company is paying for the health insurance, then it's reasonable to make various tests. They frequently will test for smoking. They'll test for diabetes. They'll test for a whole lot of other things. So, yes, it's fair, because if you don't do this, then every employee, for example, of Fox, you are being denied roughly $2,500 to $3,000 a year, which could go to health benefits or child care or something else, because every single employee, and there are dozens of peer-reviewed studies, is costing Fox a hell of a lot more money. So the unfairness is not doing it, rather than doing it and letting her make a choice, just like the employer makes the choice.
If there were that many peer-reviewed studies, we'd have had that instead of courtroom testimony from some witness. So forget that. But it's not fair. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, this is a slippery slope. If they can test your spouse because she has a few extra pounds on her or him, and it costs you your job, we're taking away and advocating policies that take away jobs from hard-working Americans based on what their spouses do.
Gare,
I think it's a slippery slope.
One-word answer: are non-smokers more productive?
Sometimes.
For more on the organizations represented today, log on to our website, MJShow.com.
Thank you all for joining us today. Coming up next, after 6 weeks of training at the dating game, see how our graduates did. Her dating